Before the invention of Caleb and Sophia, Jehovah's Witness children had a total of 2 Bible movies to look forward to, and man, were they some nightmare fuel. So strap in, boys and girls, cause today we're taking a cruise through memory lane to watch the Noah movie. There's gonna be animals, rainbows, and a whole lot of death. Yeah, it's about to get culty. You know, as always, we're doing the cringe challenge, so if you cringe, you lose, and when you cringe, let me know the exact moment you lost it. Are you ready? Let's get into it.
Please watch.
This film was released back in 1997, 1 year before I came into the world, and let me tell you, from a technical standpoint, it's quite the piece of art. According to this Watchtower article from the year 2000, the live action sequences were shot in Denmark, and the rest of the movie consists of hundreds of watercolor paintings. These paintings were layered to simulate the effect of animation. And man, they have come a long way, from watercolor paintings to 3D animation. Say what you want about the Watchtower, but they've always had some talented artists in their midst. But behind these beautiful paintings of animals and rose-cheeked people lies a message of destruction, which is quite disturbing. Let's watch.
The Bible, in Genesis chapter 6, tells us that many years ago, about 600 years after the first man, Adam, died, some angels looked down from heaven upon the earth and noticed the women.
Man, what a throwback. I probably watched this movie like 1,000 times. My parents probably still have the VHS in their house.
They saw that they were very pretty, and those angels began to have bad thoughts.
We just got started, and this is already quite a wild story to tell children. Heavenly creatures lusting after earthly women and getting them pregnant. This is how the Great Teacher book describes this scene. The Bible says that those angels left their own proper home in heaven and came to earth to live as men. They did this because they wanted to have sex relations with the pretty woman on earth. What do you know about sex relations? And then you're supposed to let your child answer this. Sex relations are when a man and a woman become close in a very special way. Afterward, a baby can grow inside the mother, but for angels to have sex relations is wrong. This is supposed to be read to very small children, by the way. Imagine learning about the birds and the bees from a story about angels and giants. Very wholesome.
They left heaven and became like men so that they could marry the women. This was unnatural and very wrong.
If the union between an angel and a human was so unnatural, why were they able to reproduce in the first place? If angels were able to generate a physical body, that means God created them with that ability.
The women then had babies who grew up to be giant bullies called Nephilim. These bullies beat up people. Many men copied their bad example. Doubtless, even children became bullies.
It's cool to see that creating Bible fanfiction is nothing new to Watchtower. There's nothing in the Bible that suggests that children like little Waldo here became bullies, but of course, this is gonna justify their imminent destruction at the hands of God. Were babies bullies as well? Were they bullying other babies?
People in that violent world ignored the suffering around them. They were enjoying life, marrying, eating, and drinking.
Oh no, evil little creatures.
They were buying and selling and did not care about God. Violence was everywhere. Innocent people were being attacked.
Wait, so there were innocent people alive at that time? I thought everyone was worthy of destruction. I'm confused.
Now, what did Jehovah God think about that wicked world?
He probably loved seeing that shit, since he designed the angels with the ability to grow balls and procreate, which is what led to this mess in the first place. Jehovah loves seeing old men getting their head bonked with rocks.
got hit in the head with a coconut!
He saw that the badness of men was everywhere, and that what they thought about was only bad all the time. Jehovah felt hurt that men were wicked.
He created them that way.
What did God decide to do about it?
I don't know. Come down to the earth himself to show people how to live moral lives? Oh wait, that's in the New Testament? God is still a tribalistic war god?
He said, I am going to wipe mankind from the face of the earth.
Damn, Big J really said smash that reset button. I'm tired of this shit.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
Next we get to the live action segments, which somehow have better fake beards than the latest Jesus movie.
Did this mean that nobody would be left on the earth? No. The Bible tells us that during this time of violence, at least one man obeyed God, Noah. This God-fearing man and his wife had 3 sons.
Let me remind you that according to the Bible, Noah was 500 years of age when he had his first child. I mean, this man's pullout game was absolutely legendary.
Sexy.
Jehovah's Witnesses and other Christian fundamentalists believe that Noah was a real man and that all of humanity descends from him and his 3 sons, Japheth, Shem, and Ham. No, not that Ham, this Ham. According to the Insight into the Scriptures book, which is like the Watchtower Encyclopedia, Japheth is believed to be the ancestor of Indo-Europeans and the Chinese people. Shem is the ancestor of all Semitic peoples, and Ham is the ancestor of basically all black people. And very fittingly, Watchtower plays some stereotypical African drums when they're presenting Ham to the audience, and he's also darker than the rest of the family.
Ham was the youngest.
You just can't make this up.
These obedient sons and their faithful wives would be a great help to Noah in a special task that God would soon give him to do.
Unbeknownst to this sweet family, their sons and daughters would have to partake in some Alabama-level incest to repopulate the earth.
Why did Jehovah favor Noah? What made him special?
His pullout game? So Noah is a man who walks with God, but we're never really told why he's considered good in the first place. The text just says that he was obedient.
He obeyed God.
Which is of course a quality that Watchtower really values.
How would Jehovah destroy that wicked world?
Oh, I don't know. He could snap his fingers and erase everyone from existence. Quick, painless death. I'm sure the God of love would never choose a drawn-out execution method, right?
He said, I am going to cause a huge flood to cleanse the earth.
Bruh.
The water will be so deep that everything will drown.
So God instructs little Snow White here to build an ark. An incredible ark, one of the greatest boats of all time. They would use the help of giant rock monsters, of course. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong movie.
Noah probably built it near a forest, where wood was easy to get.
Duh.
How would Noah and his family, only 8 persons, build such a massive vessel? It was something they had never done before.
What the hell is she doing? Is she trying to sharpen the rock? Girl, put some more weight into it. You're just caressing it.
With God's help, they were able to build the ark.
With God's help? I didn't see Big J do anything here. He was probably too busy watching old men get whacked in the head.
Besides doing this work, they had another important task to do. They had to warn their neighbors about the coming flood. Can you imagine how those people might have reacted to their preaching? They probably said, "You fools! Why are you building this huge box here? You're wasting your time. Our world is not going to end." They ignored Noah's warning and just continued in their normal daily routine.
Well, can you blame them? If I heard an old man say that the world was gonna end soon and that the only way I could save myself was to help him build a giant box out in the middle of the forest, I would have thought he had gone insane. But the worst part is that this is purely a watchtower invention. Noah did not warn his colleagues of the imminent destruction. Nothing in the Genesis story even hints at that possibility. In fact, Matthew 24:36 confirms that the people of Noah's day knew nothing about what would happen. But the problem is that the New World Translation, the Jehovah's Witness Bible, completely twists the meaning of this verse by saying that the people took no note, implying that they heard about the imminent destruction but actively decided not to act on it, which is not what the text says. This version of Noah is a watchtower invention, a complete fanfiction to cast Noah as a sort of proto-Jehovah's Witness, and then they use this version of Noah to push Jehovah's Witnesses to knock on more doors.
But Noah listened to God, not to his neighbors. It took him and his family a long time to build the ark. For over 40 years, they obediently worked hard at it.
One eternity later.
At long last, the ark was completed. They had made it waterproof. For light and fresh air, they had put a window opening all around. They also made a large door in its side.
The funny part is, if we made an exact replica of this ark, it would never actually float. It would collapse almost immediately from the water pressure. And the story keeps getting more absurd because we're told that Noah and his family were supposed to collect enough food to keep the animals fed for several months, which is impossible. You could not fit enough food into the ark to feed even one elephant. Also, look at these tiny windows that are supposed to serve as ventilation. Can you just imagine the smell inside? How are you gonna manage all the waste? Sure, maybe if you worked 24/7, you could manage to throw all the poop, all the excrement out of the windows. But what about all the piss? If the ark is waterproof, then all of the piss would end up draining to the bottom, sinking the damn box. All the animals in the lower deck are gonna be covered in shit in no time. And why would you even have to feed the animals in the first place? Clearly, God removed their ability to fuck and eat other animals, so why not just disable their ability to eat? The more you think about this fairy tale, the more ridiculous it becomes.
But they were not yet finished. They now had to face another challenge, an urgent job.
So God gives Noah a 7-day deadline to get all the animals inside the ark. A pair of each kind, except for the clean ones. You're supposed to take 7 pairs of those on the ark.
Therefore, take into the ark 7 each of the clean animals to be used in my worship.
Imagine being one of those clean animals selected into the ark only to be sacrificed immediately after. Like, damn.
Jehovah must have helped Noah to direct the many kinds of animals that had to be led into the ark.
So Jehovah didn't bother raising a finger when Noah and his sons were hauling ass building the ark, but he was happy to direct the animals into the ark in an orderly manner. Wow, Big J, Noah could have never done this without you. Also, how the hell did these penguins get to the Middle East? Whatever.
Don't ask questions.
None were left out. Not even the little ones. The creeping ones. Or the slow ones.
You telling me all these tiny animals made it to the ark without getting crushed? There's no way the pair of hamsters made it to the ark without dying in the most ridiculous way possible, probably by crawling up the elephant's ass or something.
Did Noah waste any time? Did he think, well, this can all wait until tomorrow? No. He did according to all that Jehovah had commanded him. It wasn't easy, but once again, he and his family showed that they were God-fearing and obedient. They did just so.
And this is the lesson Watchtower wants children to take from this, guys. Obedience. Noah did just so. They repeat this slogan over and over again. And as we saw in this Caleb and Sophia cartoon, they also used the Noah story to scare children into paying attention at the meetings.
You are right. He paid attention, and it saved his life. Paying attention at the meetings can help save your life.
At Genesis 6:22, we read, "And Noah did according to all that God had commanded him. He did just so."
When all the animals were safely inside, Jehovah shut the door.
I swear, Jehovah is like that colleague you had at school who did nothing in the group project and still took an equal share of the credit. Close the door. Get out of here.
Just as God had said, the heavens burst open. It rained and it rained without stopping. It was a deluge. It poured down for 40 days and 40 nights. Yes, Jehovah kept his word. The waters rose higher and higher. Imagine how all felt when the ark started to float and rock. Eventually, even the highest mountains were covered. The earth was flooded for 150 days. What happened to all the wicked, violent people who had scoffed at Noah's warning? They drowned.
First of all, they didn't receive a warning, according to Matthew 24. Second, it wouldn't have just been the wicked people who would have drowned. It would have also been countless babies and millions of animals. Oh, but these cartoons don't bother showing that part. At least my book of Bible stories had more of a spine. Get it? Spine? Because it's a book? Please kill me. In that book, we see everyone drowning. Mothers with their babies, a Komodo dragon, some woolly mammoths, this stupid balding man. Oh, and in the 1996 brochure, What Does God Require of Us? They also had a dinosaur drowning in the flood, which, as silly as it sounds, is actually a common belief among young Earth creationists. This ridiculous idea that dinosaurs existed alongside humans and that they were wiped out in the flood.
Did humans and dinosaurs exist at the same time?
Yes,
How old is the Earth?
approximately 6,100 years old.
When did dinosaurs go extinct?
We can't know for sure, but some people would say somewhere in maybe the first millennia AD.
When I think you're an idiot.
And surprise, surprise, it's completely disproved by science. And I can't emphasize this enough. Every single aspect of this story is disproved by scientific, historical, and archaeological evidence. How did I believe in this for so long?
During all the months that the ark floated, Noah and his family were kept busy. They cared for their own needs and for those of the animals.
How do they have so much space to roam around?
Only the animals in the ark and Noah and his family were saved. 8 people survived because they listened to Jehovah and did as he commanded. They did just so.
This has to be Jehovah's biggest kill streak. It puts Thanos to shame. That guy killed half of the universe. Jehovah killed every single living thing outside of the ark. And what about the fish? If the whole earth was covered in fresh water, how did the saltwater fish survive? Did Jehovah create an aquarium for them? What about the plants? Very few of them would have survived being drowned for months at a time. Did Jehovah protect them as well? If so, why couldn't he protect the land animals as well? This story has more holes than a Swiss cheese.
Don't ask questions.
So Jehovah starts blowing some wind so the water starts receding. Where does this water go? I don't know. And to check if there's already dry land, Noah sends out some birds. First a raven and then a dove. And the dove eventually returns with an olive branch, meaning there's already some Greek man out there selling olive oil. The family is ready to get the hell out of the box.
How would you have felt after surviving the flood? You would have been very thankful to God.
Are we not grateful?
And that's just how Noah and his family felt.
Oh, but Jehovah is not content with his kill streak. No, he still asked Noah to sacrifice a few of the clean animals he kept during the trip. I mean, I can't blame Big J. If I went 7 months without smelling some barbecue, I would be in a pissy mood as well.
Noah and his family were overjoyed because Jehovah had saved them. Jehovah now blessed them and told them to have children and spread across the earth. In time, Noah's sons and their wives had families. The animals also had their little ones. Thus the human and animal population began to spread over all the earth.
And this actually opens up one of the most hilarious can of worms in this whole story. Jehovah's Witnesses, being Christian fundamentalists, don't believe in evolution. However, they believe that all existing land animals today came from this tiny sample size that survived the flood. The Watchtower acknowledges that not every single species of animals could fit into the ark. Noah could only include a dozen specimens of each kind of animal, which would then diversify into all of the species we have today. But this would require the mechanisms of evolution to go into overdrive in ways which we have never seen before and which are scientifically impossible. So by believing in a literal flood, Jehovah's Witnesses have to implicitly accept an exaggerated version of the theory of evolution, which is just hilarious to me.
See how wise Jehovah is?
So Noah and his family go into full-blown Alabama mode and humans start repopulating the earth. Just ignore all those Native Americans who continued their lives uninterrupted throughout the flood. But it only takes Noah's descendants 2 generations for them to turn evil again, which completely defeats the whole point of the flood.
Jehovah made a solemn promise to Noah and to the rest of mankind. Never again will I send a flood to ruin the whole earth.
Oh gee, thanks Jehovah.
He gave them something beautiful in the sky to help them remember his promise. My rainbow I do give in the cloud, and it must serve as a sign of the agreement between me and the earth.
Are you a homosexual?
You too can be like Noah. How? By learning from his good example. He had a strong spiritual family. They had also preached to an unbelieving world.
No, they didn't.
Yes, Noah was a preacher of righteousness.
Yes, but not in the way you think.
We must preach the good news that God has promised to cleanse our world of the wicked. He will restore paradise on earth for all the good people who serve him and follow his son Jesus. Then Noah and his family will come back to life on earth. Will you and your family be there? Will you be in paradise to talk to them? If you walk with God, you surely will.
And that's the lesson, boys and girls, that Watchtower wants us to learn from the Noah story. Go knock on some doors so you are free of blood guilt once Jehovah brings Armageddon 2.0. This time with fireballs and angels. The story of Noah is possibly the most iconic Bible story of all time. And it's not hard to see why. It's easy to market it to children. Images of a bloodied man on the cross or of a desert nomad about to strike at his own son may not be the best Sunday school material, but the ark? With all the animals and rainbows, now that is more digestible. The thing is, when presenting this to children, most sensible Christians will kind of skim over the part where everyone dies, instead choosing to focus on the animals and the aftermath of Noah's obedience. But the Watchtower, to no one's surprise, chose to highlight the violence in this story. By rewriting the text and casting Noah as a sort of proto-Jehovah's Witness, someone who preached to his neighbors and was constantly mocked for it, Watchtower prepares their followers to expect to be rejected in the ministry, thus driving them deeper into the cult. And by showing these images of people being destroyed in the flood, let me remind you, literal babies being drowned, Jehovah's Witness children are accustomed to the idea of an imminent destruction. That's why we all grew up believing in Armageddon and thinking it was a loving display of God's justice because of movies and illustrations like this. Normalizing death and violence. If you watched my videos long enough, you know I have a lot of problems with God as portrayed in the Old Testament, especially with all the killing he is willing to do. But the global flood is by far the worst example. This is an indiscriminate destruction of not only humans, but every living thing. Creatures that had nothing to do with the issue of sin. This is the Old Testament God at his worst. But if there is one silver lining in all of this, it's that the Noah story played a key role in helping me leave this religion, and I'm sure it's helped a lot of people leave this religion. The more I learned about archaeology and history and science, the more I realized that there was a 0% chance that these events actually happened. Every aspect of this story is just so ridiculous. And that led me to question the rest of the book of Genesis, which would eventually lead to the downfall of my faith and my breaking free from this doomsday cult. So thank you, Noah, you really did me a solid there. Most Christians today have the common sense to acknowledge that the Noah story is just an allegory, a fable meant to teach us moral lessons. But for the Watchtower and other Christian fundamentalists, the Noah story becomes a weapon used to deny scientific evidence and to justify their doomsday paranoia. Don't be like the Watchtower. I give this movie a 10 out of 10 in the cold meter. Just a terrible message to be teaching children. But I do have to say, it was quite a nostalgic experience to see this again. All the paintings are very beautiful, the live action sequences are also quite decent, and that soundtrack, man, oof, it was actually really good. It's without a doubt a certified cult classic. So guys, let me know in the comments below, did you grow up with this movie? If you were never a Jehovah's Witness, how did your church deal with the Noah story? Let me know in the comments below. If you would like to support my work, please head on over to Patreon or become a channel member. It's only $1 a month and you gain early access to all my videos. I couldn't do this without your support, guys, so thank you so much. Take it easy, guys, have a wonderful day, and stay away from the tower.
Receive early access to every Panda Tower video, and your name will appear in the end credits of every video. Wowee!
Goodbye, little sheep.